What is going on, y'all? The conference final stage is set, both for the East and West. This is the first video of the day. There will be another one coming out with my mock draft, my early mock draft for the NBA draft coming up. But here we go. Tonight, big night, first game of the conference finals. Pacers, Celtics. Pacers somehow, by some miracle, ended up beating the Knicks. Part of that being because the Knicks had so many injuries. Brunson went down in Game 7. OG, we know he's been injured. Josh Hart went down in Game 6. Their whole team's just full of injuries. I believe Hartenstein was dealing with some stuff. Mitchell Robinson was out. I think Alec Burks missed some time, and he just started to come back and play here in the playoffs. Knicks couldn't get the job done, didn't have enough. Pacers, they still struggled their last game wasn't a struggle against the Knicks, but they still struggled to win the series. And that's the tough part. There was times in this series where Tyrese Halliburton just did not feel like Tyrese Halliburton. I was wanting him to be more aggressive, and he really wasn't doing that in some games. In on the game 6, he only had 15 points. Game 5, 13. Had a very good start to the series. He had 6 points in the first game of the series, but 34, 35, and 20 in games 2, 3, and 4. Then games 5, 6, and 7. 7 he had 26, but he had about 3 games in there in those 4-game series that you're just like wanting a little bit more out of him. You're wanting more out of him. And Tyrese, great player, but is he the kind of player that can lead this team right now? I don't know that answer. A lot of this team has stepped up and made big-time plays, big-time momentum boosts. TJ McConnell's came in and been a big-time boost for them. Been able to kind of give them some energy. Nembhard hit a big shot there to win a game. Naismith's been pretty solid, but playing both sides of the ball. Ben Shepherd's been hitting threes. And then Pascal, he's been all right. He hasn't been anything special. He had around the 20 average in this series. There were some, like Game 2, only 14. Game 4, only 14. But he was doing pretty solid. He did his thing. He was shooting the ball a lot. Pascal, he should be fine. Obi's been solid, been able to hit some threes here and there. And then Miles Turner almost turned into a star in this series, man. There was some games where Miles Turner was lights out from 3. What was that one game? How many threes did he end up making? He had one game, I think it was game 5, where he went 4 for 7 from 3. He was just catching and shooting, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Miles Turner getting the job done. It wasn't enough, but it was still fun to watch. Miles Turner, phenomenal in this series, I thought. Fortunately, not a great rebounder. Hasn't been doing much other than being a big-time shot maker. He's been in some foul trouble, but it is what it is. It is what it is with Miles Turner. Pretty solid player there. He had 3 games where he was in foul trouble. He had 3 or more fouls in 3 of the 7 games. So you might want to maybe play a little bit more calm when you're playing against the Celtics. Celtics, obviously, we know they're going to have all the names to throw at you. They got Tatum. They got Jaylen Brown. They got Derek White. They got Al Horford, who, it feels like every year we say this. Al Horford playing some of his best basketball. Why? I don't know. The man's like 40 years old and he's out there hooping. Al Horford, shout out to him getting the job done. But yeah, this Celtics team, man, there's just a lot. Jrue Holiday's been solid for him. Peyton Pritchard off the bench has been solid for him. It's a tough team, man. It's a tough team. Even Luke Cornett's getting some good run, and I've seen some Luke Cornett games as a Bulls fan, and they're getting him to. Well, there's times where Luke Cornett looks like a pretty good NBA player out there, and Celtics, as much as I don't want to see them win, they're going to win this series. It's going to be pretty easy. It's just a matter not of whether it's going to be 4 or it's going to be 5. I don't really think the Pacers have what it takes to take this the distance. I don't think they can get the Celtics on the ropes. I really don't. And it kind of just shows you that the East is really weak. Celtics kind of had a cakewalk run. I'm not going to lie. I know I was saying that to one of my friends that's a Celtics fan, and he had a lot of issues with it because, well, we were just playing who's in front of us. Yeah, I get that, but the Heat gave you a little bit of some problems without Jimmy Butler. The Cavaliers without, I get you're winning the series, but you should win it in 4 games. You should win it in 4 games. Donovan Mitchell was playing injured. Donovan Mitchell was not there for some of the games, and your last game, what was it? Game 4, you only won by 7 points. You're winning the games. Don't get me wrong, but there's some struggles there. They haven't really been tested. They've missed the stars. No Jimmy Butler in this run. There was no Donovan Mitchell for half of this series. The Pacers, I don't even think that they should be in the Eastern Conference Finals. It should be the Knicks, but the Knicks weren't healthy, so they're getting the easy draw there. So it's going to be really the first time the Celtics are going to get tested is in the finals. And is that too late for them to be tested? Or will they just win the series? Will they just do what they've been doing this whole time? I don't know, but they should beat the Pacers. I'm gonna give it 4-0. I hate to do that to Tyrese, but that Pacers team does not have much business being around and really competing with that Celtics team. I don't really think the Celtics, if they end up losing the series, I'd be shocked. Oh my god, my eye had something stuck in it. But then we get to the Western Conference Finals. The Dallas Mavericks, the Timberwolves. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be the fun one. This could go 7 games. I expect it to definitely go more than 4. The Timberwolves, obviously, they pushed the Nuggets to Game 7. They got the job done. They were down big, I believe 20 points at one point, and they got the job done. They dealt with adversity. They showed that their defense can hold up for long periods of time. There was games where the Nuggets didn't even look like they should be in the playoffs. That's how good the Timberwolves defense has been. And then you got the Mavericks, who they just got done beating Oklahoma City in 6 games. A team that we all thought could make a deep run, Oklahoma City. They did not make a deep run. They didn't get to the conference finals. I think they'll be fine for next year, but it ain't about them right now. It's about the Mavericks. The Mavericks, obviously, you know the guys that are going to help you there. It's Luka Doncic, it's Kyrie Irving. Those 2 big guys right there. They're going to score their points. They're going to do whatever they need to do. And I think the Mavericks' key is what else everybody else can do. Because obviously, you look at the Timberwolves. You got Cat, you got Ant. McDaniels has been playing really well. Mike Conley's been playing really well when he is playing because he did sit out again. Rudy Gobert has his nights. Naz Reid's had some big games. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker's a threat. If I'm the Mavericks, I'm not in love with this matchup. I'm really not. Because you look at the depth of the Timberwolves compared to the depth of the Mavericks. I think the Timberwolves got them beat. Because you look at the Mavericks, they're going to need good games out of some of the guys that maybe haven't been super consistent. I mean, T.J. Washington's had some big games last series, but then he had some games where he wasn't. I mean, he had 3 games in a row where he scored over 20, then he dropped down to 10-9, which it's okay, but you might need to see those 20-point games out of him. Derek Lively, can he step up? Big rookie. A chance for him to make an impact. Daniel Gafford, can he step up and really contain either Cat or Gobert? Derek Jones, can he come in and contain Cat or Gobert? Is that even a good matchup? Are they going to let him guard those guys? This is just. I don't really love the matchup. There's just so many questions of who would match up with who. I think Kyrie and Ant should match up. I think that'll be a fun matchup. Luka, I imagine Jaden McDaniels gets the Luka assignment. And then you got Cat against maybe Derek Jones Jr., maybe Daniel Gafford in that starting lineup. Whoever's not is probably guarding Gobert. I think the advantage that the Timberwolves are going to have is their size. I don't really see the Mavericks having the size to really come in and impact what the Timberwolves can do. They have Naz Reid to come off the bench. Jaden McDaniels is pretty tall for what he is. They're on the wing at the 3 position. Do they have the size? Is Derek Jones, is Daniel Gafford, is Derek Lively really enough to compete with what the Timberwolves can throw at them? It's we know the stars in the series. We know the stars in the series. We expect them to have a good series. Everybody talks about the stars. I think really the key here is going to be everybody else around the stars in this series. And the Timberwolves have the better guys, in my opinion. They do. And if that's the case, and if this team is the team that could push the Nuggets out of the playoffs, and this is the team that could stop well, they didn't really stop Nikola Jokic, but kind of hinder him and make him have some rough games and slow down that Nuggets team so they're scoring under 80 points in some games and under 100 and more than some games. I mean, there was a game where the Nuggets scored 70 points. You know how many times you see that in the playoffs? Not very often. So I imagine Kyrie, Luka, yeah, they're going to score. But if the Timberwolves can lock down everybody else, which is definitely possible for a team like the Timberwolves, how much can Luka and Kyrie score, really, realistically? Can they each score 40 points and then maybe get another 20 out of somewhere else and just hope that 100's enough? Can they? Are we going to see a big 50-point, 60-point game from a Luka or a Kyrie? I don't know if the talent on the Mavericks outside of those two. I mean, obviously they got some guys that can make some big impacts. PJ Washington, one of the guys I really think could be, if he gets going, it puts the Mavericks into the series. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't think they have the depth, or just really the matchups to succeed here. And it sucks because I really like the Mavericks. I would love to see Luka get a ring. I would love to see Kyrie get another ring without LeBron this time. I would love to see those things happen. I would obviously rather see Anthony Edwards get a ring because he's the most fun player in the NBA right now. I don't want to see a Celtic get the ring, so it's probably going to be the Timberwolves here, and the Timberwolves and the Celtics are going to be our finals. It's going to be interesting, but Dallas, the Timberwolves, I think it goes the distance. I think Luka and Kyrie will have good games, but I don't think they're going to have the depth realistically to match up the whole way, the whole 7. I'm going with the Timberwolves. I will send them to 7, but the Timberwolves are winning. I think it's going to be a good series. I think there's going to be some chess matches, kind of like what we saw at the Nuggets series, where the Nuggets made adjustments and they were on top of the Timberwolves, and then the Timberwolves made some adjustments and they got back on top. I could see it happening like that. So the Timberwolves, we're going to ride with them. We are having them win in 7, and the Mavericks are going down. So there you have it. I got the Celtics and the Timberwolves in the finals. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Make sure later today you turn in to my NBA mock draft video.